Hey, welcome back to the Lightspeed Social Agency YouTube channel and podcast. I am sitting down to right when we start recording, a garbage truck shows up. We'll see if it's recording. If it is, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm sitting down today with Ezra McCarthy from Green Frog Web Design. You know him from being on the show previously and for being the first official sponsor of the podcast. We are talking today about Ezra's journey, not as a web designer, but as a lawn care business owner before he left Texas to head back to the great wild north in Canada. He had built a successful lawn care business here, sold it before he left. And we're talking about his journey in the early days of the business, where he was able to go from $0 a month in recurring revenue to $6,000 a month. And Ezra, I think you had the first thing you wanted to chime in there on was a little bit of a correction on the 6,000 number.
That's right. I was just looking at my spreadsheet here and it was 5,973. So $27 short of 6,000.
Well, we appreciate your honesty, but I think the round number of 6,000 is a little more engaging.
Yeah.
But yeah, so walk us through like day one. What was the situation? Like, what equipment did you have access to? What did that look like?
Sure. When I started, I had a Craftsman push mower, just a 24-inch. And the church I was pastoring at the time there in Texas had someone doing their lawn for $211 a month. And it was a pretty decent sized place. I would not have wanted to do with a push mower. And I thought to myself, they weren't really doing a very good job. And it really needed to be done every week, especially there in the Dallas area. We can get good rain sometimes in the spring, and you've just got to do it every week. And they're kind of doing it every other week. And church, you want to look fresh. When people come on Sunday, you don't want it to look dumpy. They weren't really doing a very good job with the bushes. So I thought, hey, I can go buy a lawnmower and a trailer and get one or two lawns, and that will pay for my equipment. So that's how it started. So I had a business previously, so I got a Google business profile up, and I got my first customer, or I guess it would be my second through that. It was just, I only did it once or twice. I went out and I push mowed her lawn, and that was my first one. I asked her a review, and she gave it, and it's probably still up. I'd have to go look. And then I went out and bought I think it was a 48-inch X Mark, and then it would be a 6x12 enclosed trailer. And that's kind of how it began.
Yeah. So how are you, like, you had a little bit of startup capital, right? To be able
I
to
went
buy
in
the
debt.
equipment.
I went in debt for
Oh,
it.
gotcha.
Yeah.
That's fair.
No, yeah, because I had a truck, and I had wanted to start a lawn care business previously, but I didn't have a truck when I was in Idaho. And so I ended up going into painting. But when I moved there, I had a truck. And so I thought, now's a good time. There's a perfect space. And so we actually went into debt. We got that paid off, I think within 4 or 5 months, but we borrowed to buy that.
Yeah, that's totally fair. So you've got a little bit of debt, but you've got the equipment now. What I do like is something that my old boss, Jonathan Potoshnik, used to always talk about was like selling the work and then buying the equipment. So or even like just renting your aerator for the first season, like see if you're able to sell that before you drop thousands of dollars on a piece of equipment. Really figure out, like, is this for us? Is this going to work out? And you don't want to get saddled with a piece of equipment that you're going to use 3 times. So you sell that work, and you went out and even serviced the first couple of clients with just homeowner grade equipment to get off the ground, like bootstrapping it. You got one thing I'm noticing here. I kind of want to do like a play by play for people. One thing I noticed was you mentioned like claiming your Google business profile right away. It adds an air of legitimacy, even if you don't have any reviews yet, just to claim that. It informs how you look on Google Maps when someone searches for you. You're going to look like more quality than someone with no Google Maps entry, or one that like somehow is getting supplied. Maybe you joined Yelp or Angie's List and Google's added you, but you haven't claimed the profile yet. It's going to look very Facebook profile with no profile picture, like very, very suspect. So you claimed that, and then you got that first customer to write a review. And that is powerful. And you can do it manually at first, right? You can ask each customer individually to leave a review. Eventually, you want that process to become something automated, where every customer coming in the door is getting those requests for review. But yeah, so talk to me about, we've got our like first three clients at this point. What takes you from 3 to 10 to, 50, 60?
Sure. It really boils down to the Google business profile. So, one thing I can recommend if someone is just starting out in business, if you can do work for friends or family, and I recommend always be honest. So, never ask someone to leave a review for something you didn't do. And for
Mhm.
an example, don't tell someone if you haven't worked for them, oh, they did such a good job on my lawn. That's lying. Never recommend that. But if they've seen you work and you say, or even say, hey, I know this guy, I recommend him, I would go and say, hey, would you feel comfortable leaving a review for the work I've done? And then fill out complete that Google Business profile. And I'll just pull up a play by play month here. I started, it was really the very last day of March. So I don't really count that. I bought it, my mower, like the 28th of March. My first month in April of, it would have been 2021, we grossed $1,497. And how I got that was basically just answering the phone, especially there in spring. Man, it's just crazy. And people will literally call 8 or 9 people and no one will answer the phone. So have that
Yeah.
profile up. And then I also use something. If you ever heard of Nextdoor,
Hmm.
that's another thing that helped. Not as effective, but especially if you're just getting started. I mean, all the customers that I got were not the customers I would want now. But you're just starting, you just take what you can get. I remember one guy, I probably shouldn't have taken it. It was like a hayfield, and it was like on the side of his driveway. It was like probably 4 foot tall, and my poor blades. And then I hit a T post, and I was,
Oh,
I didn't even know any better. I didn't even have any spare blades. I didn't realize how often you had to sharpen your blades. I hadn't found podcasts yet at this time. And so I just had the 3 blades that were on the mower. I didn't even have a grinder to sharpen the blades. And my poor blades, I didn't sharpen them for the first couple of months. It was bad. But you know what? I learned on the go. The first month was 1,497. The second month, just hitting it hard, was 2,545. Third month was 2,043. And then that fourth month, I just worked hard and it started to compound, and that was the 5,973.
yeah. So are these people, they're finding you from your Google business profile, they're calling in. Is word of mouth starting to work in your favor?
In all reality, no. At that,
Got
I've
it.
found it really takes like 2 years for word of mouth to really germinate. Now, I did get a few, but 99% of these are being found online.
Yeah. And no paid stuff, right?
I think I may have tried like probably under $100. I don't think, yeah, there was like zero paid stuff basically. I tried advertising just a little bit on Nextdoor, but it wasn't effective. And it was like
Mhm.
$10 a week or something. And so I never kept doing it.
Yeah. So you are just taking advantage of what the early business owner has, which is lots and lots of time. And so there's a lot of manual work that can be done to run things down. You can respond to threads on Nextdoor. You can join community Facebook groups and respond there. Like have a warning anytime the word lawn is used. You can be there to be Johnny on the spot. What were there any like in the physical world stuff that you were doing? Any door knocking, mailers, anything like that?
No, I did none. Something that, I mean, I was busy enough, but something that I found now is very effective is you can go to realtors and go give them your business card, because if there are businesses that are adjacent to yours, and what I mean by that is right next to it, so like a realtor, they obviously deal with properties all the time, people that are moving,
Hmm.
people that are empty, property management companies, that's possible, but they're at the beginning, maybe it'll work because they're wanting low cost, and if you're just trying to get work, that works. These are places I didn't do that, but I have found before that's an effective means to go there, give them your business card, talk to them, start to build that relationship, and those are things you can do as well.
Yeah. And what I would suggest as you're like maturing in the business is there's no reason you can't pay realtors for leads. Like give them a kickback for every new homeowner that they refer to you who becomes a customer. Just like you have a referral system for your customers where they get a $20 Amazon gift card or a $50 Amazon gift card for every new customer that they bring in the door, you can do that with local realtors. And then you will have, I don't know if you know this about realtors, but they are very chatty and very
Hmm.
quick to try to get people to buy stuff. You'll tell them your budget for a home is $400,000. And next thing you know, they've got you buying a $550,000
Yeah,
home because they ran the numbers. They could tell that you could afford it. So they're really, really good people to have on your side. A lot of people, their realtor is a family friend or just someone they've known for a long time, especially if they're on their second, third home. This is a person they've worked with before. And so that reference for lawn care could be super helpful for you.
for sure. And especially if it's empty homes, you could get multiple, and especially starting, that could be a very helpful tool.
Yeah. So we're relying on organic search on Google for a lot of this traction. What do you think you did differently than the other companies in your market? Because you're in DFW, like it wasn't like it was a totally uncompetitive market. What were you doing differently with your Google business profile that got people to see it?
It's one of those funny things. Once you start a business, you see it everywhere. And especially there, because lawn care and landscaping has a very low barrier to entry. Literally, on any sunny summer or spring day, you could drive down the road and probably see multiple, easily, lawn care companies. So, one way to differentiate myself from the other companies, not only online but in person, was when I showed up. I, from the very beginning, I tried to look clean. Obviously, sometimes you're working here in lawn care, but started getting a uniform. I actually have one of my hats
Mhm.
here. It's a little dirty, but maple leaf mowing. And then showing up, the metal business cards, handing that out, that's just a showstopper every time you hand that to somebody. Answering the phone on the Google Business profile, adding relevant pictures. There's an update function,
Mhm.
consistently filling out all the forms. And then I was just helping someone the other day, and his main town that he serviced was about 5-10 minutes away from his house. So I typed in, he did fertilization near, and I can't remember if it was Adrian, Michigan or something like that. And I couldn't find him. He had more reviews than everyone else. So I was like, okay, this is weird. I literally had to type in his exact just about address, and he finally showed up. And so I asked him, hey, is your service area even covering that? So he went and checked it, and his service area, which that was his main town, didn't extend there. So you want to make sure your service area is on the correct
Yeah.
location. Just these simple things that even sometimes large companies don't do. And then also, when I moved there, the top competitor had 22 reviews. So from the very beginning, like I said, my first customer asked for it. So within 3 months, I was over those people who were way bigger than me, made more money. But because I was there, that was invaluable in getting the new leads.
Yeah. Yeah. That is getting your Google business profile together and then having a system where you're always asking for reviews. Like, get over the awkwardness of it, get over that it feels like you're asking them for a favor. You are, but you need it. So, like, you need to do this. This should be part of your process with every single customer. Anytime someone compliments your work, man, QR code right there with the link to your Google review. Like when you finish a one time project with someone, if it's the kind of project where there's a handshake at the end where they're signing off and saying everything's good, that's when you hit them with like, hey, if this was a 5-star job, would you go ahead and leave us a review on Google right now? And you can just show them the QR code, have them snap a picture while they're leaving the review so they can put a picture on the review and get it done immediately. And if they, kind of hem and haw about it, say like, hey, what's holding you back from writing this review? Is there something that's keeping you from being able to feel comfortable leaving 5 stars on this job? And they might tell you, like maybe they didn't mention it before, but they felt like, you know, the sidewalk is still a little dirty or whatever it is. then you'll be able to get that taken care of and get the review. So you'll take someone who is maybe a little quiet about their complaint. They're now willing to raise it, and you can get that fixed and give them the experience they deserve, and also get the 5-star review that you need to get in front of the next set of customers.
That's really good. Another thing to notice is kind of your perception. When you ask them for this, you're not trying to take something from them. When we look at it like, I have to charge them the right price, not because I'm trying to gouge them, not because I'm trying to be dishonest, but because, hey, if I don't charge the right price, I'm not going to be here to service them next time. I'm not going to be able to serve them well. And when we're asking for reviews, this is how other people are going to find us. So we're not trying to take from them either through cost or through taking a review. We're trying to help be there so we can serve them, solve their problems, and that's just one more way we can do it.
Yeah. Well, Ezra, thank you so much for coming on the show. I know that we're going to try to make this a little bit more of a regular thing where we get you on to talk a little bit about your experience in the green industry and also what you're seeing as a web designer currently working in the industry. So thanks so much for being here, dude. And I guess I should make it clear, since I said at the top that you've sponsored the show in the past, this is not like brokered programming. Ezra and I are just friends, and we wanted to be able to get some more content out on the YouTube channel for you guys. So he is not paying to be here. We are just friends, and we want to provide some value to you guys. There will be a link down below to where you can get some help from Ezra if you are looking to build a website or move from your current website provider to somebody who's focused on the green industry. So that will be linked down below. Thanks so much for watching. Leave us a like. Make sure that you subscribe if you're not subscribed already. This is the kind of advice that we provide here to help you go from $0 to $6,000 a month if you're a brand new lawn care business owner. And some of those tips that even the pros are missing out on with
Right.
the higher level stuff we were talking about with the Google Business Profile. So Ezra, thanks so much for being here, man. I appreciate it.
Sounds good. And don't forget to leave Cody a review down below in the podcast.
Yes, that would be great. 5 stars if you got them. And if not, send me an email and let me know why you wouldn't leave me 5 stars, and I'll take care of it.